Welcome to week 7, day 1. Our story for today is called The Last Polar Bears, and this is a book by the author Harry Horse. To the right, I have our blurb, which I'm going to read out loud to you today. Grandfather is off on an expedition to the North Pole to find the last polar bears, and with him goes Roo, a dog of character and strong views. The intrepid explorers set sail on the good ship Unsinkable and embark on the adventure of a lifetime. So an expedition is a journey with a purpose, and these two characters, they're going to be trying to find the last polar bears. Now, if they are the last of something, this tells me that maybe there's not many of them around anymore, so this must be quite a special journey. Now, Roo is a dog, and we can see this dog on the front cover. He looks quite a sweet, gentle character, and he has strong views and character. Now, this is an unusual way to describe a dog, but it tells us maybe the character of the grandfather can speak to this dog, and what he says to grandfather is he feels either one way or another. So he feels strongly about things. Intrepid means that they are really brave. So the brave explorers set sail on their ship and begin to go on a journey of a lifetime. Our key vocabulary for today. We have husky, which is a sled dog used in polar regions. We then have sledge, a small vehicle on runners used to pull things in polar regions too. We have a picture of this to the right here, and it would be maybe something that you might, if it were to snow outside, you might go on a sledge and go sledging down hills. So it doesn't just have to go for polar regions, but in our story, that's what our main focus is. Breed is a type of animal, so a breed of dog is a type of dog. Portholes, a small window on the outside of a ship, and you can see here I have a picture of portholes looking from in to out, and then overboard, going from ship to water, and that's definitely not something you'd want to hear your captain shout if you were on board. All my life, I have wanted to see how polar bears really live. So this is the I here is grandfather, and this is something that he's clearly thought about for a very long time, all my life. The first time I saw one, there was no snow for him to roll in, no icebergs for him to float upon. That was no life for a polar bear. So he clearly feels quite passionately about the zoo not being the correct environment for a polar bear, and this, the first time, possibly quite a long time ago, has really stuck with him. So I decided I would go to the North Pole to see how they really lived. That's quite a big decision to make. I found a map of Great Bear Ridge and straight away knew that is where I would find them. So straight away means that he's made this decision quite quickly. I wanted to buy a husky and a sledge to drag my equipment across the snow, but they cost too much money. So he's doing this trip on a budget. He hasn't saved up all of his life, even though he has thought about it all of his life. In the end, I had to take Roo and a gold trolley. Roo said her breed were good on the snow. Better than huskies, probably. Now here, this starts to help me build up an idea of what Roo is like as a character. She has said that her breed were good on snow, but then we have the word probably, which makes me doubt that ever so slightly. Now this is your turn to read this section, and I've highlighted some words for you to have a think about. So pause the video now, and I'm going to read on. I loaded the golf trolley with all the things we would need for our journey. We crept out of the house. Now, if I think of someone creeping out of somewhere, it often means that you don't want somebody to hear you, or you're being a little bit sneaky. So I'm not sure who grandfather and Roo are creeping away from at the moment, but whoever's inside the house, they don't want them to know they're leaving. And set sail for the North Pole on a ship called the Unsinkable. Our cabin had 2 portholes, one's for Roo and one for me. I saw a whale. Roo said she saw a sheep. That seems a little bit peculiar, doesn't it? It took Roo a while to get used to being on a ship. She lost her ball overboard, and I had to tie her to the mast to stop her jumping in after it. So this tells us that she's quite an excitable character too. Roo asked the captain if she could have a go at steering. For half an hour we went round in circles. It doesn't sound like they're very well prepared. Roo said dogs always steer like that. It was a long way to the North Pole. We sailed through storms and high seas, and it grew colder and colder. Roo wore my socks to keep her paws warm. So this shows us that grandfather really cares about Roo as a character because he wants to keep her safe. Every day, Roo asked if we were there yet. Have a think if this reminds you of anything. This reminds me of when we go on a trip sometimes, and before we even get to Enfield Town train station, people are asking me if we're there already. Every day I had to tell her, not yet, but soon, very soon. Then one night the ship took a real pounding from a dreadful storm. So real pounding means that the ship really got battered about against the waves, so pushed in one direction and pushed in another. The engine stopped completely, and when the captain tried to get it going again, nothing happened until Rue helped. Now this is where I'm going to leave us on today. I'd like you to think about what that means, until Rue helped. Do you think Rue was helpful? Do you think she was able to do what the captain didn't? If we go back to our first page, it made us think about the kind of journey that we're going to have, and they were going to have to be brave and they were going to have to be courageous. So use that to predict what would happen next. So today I've broken the questions into pages. What did he want to see? Tick 1. Did he want to see a giraffe, a boat, the North Pole, or a polar bear? So this is the section of text you might need to read. And if you feel that you know the answer already, put a tick, but then maybe go back and just check your answer. Find and copy, so you need to look and copy the breed of dog he wanted to buy, so the type of dog. Question 3. What verb describes how they left the house? So think about what a verb is here. Good, we know it's a doing word, something you do, so you can walk or you can run or you can jump. So what doing word tells us how? Question 4 is one for you to use what you think. So why is the name of the ship humorous? Why is it funny? So you might say, I think it is funny because. Question 5 is a true or false question. Our statement here is the cabin had one porthole. Is that true or false? This is the piece of text you need to read. And finally, question number 6. You need to match the character to what they saw. What did the man see and what did Rue see? I'd like you to draw lines to match those together. Thank you for watching the video today. I hope you found it helpful and I hope you enjoyed reading this story. Join in for day 2 where we're going to be looking at a non-fiction text.